I think that one of the things we all have to talk about is culture leads politics. Politics doesn't lead culture. And we are now seeing a cultural shift. The numbers that you're citing are things we have been talking about at GLAAD for a while, and most of it comes from people saying, oh, I now know a gay person, or one of my children is gay, or one of my children's friends is gay. And the more people that live out, and it's not an issue, it becomes so impossible to deny anything resembling civil rights for gay people because they're simply civil rights.
But we still have this fight on our hands. I mean, we still have this fight on our hands, and we still don't have national leadership. And your friends at the Dallas Principal said very strongly this last week, there is a shameful absence of initiative, a shameful absence of an effort coming from any national leadership quarter.
There absolutely is, and we need to demand more of our leaders. We've got to put our principles ahead of our politics. We've got to put our community's principles ahead of personas. We have to hold everyone from President Obama to our electeds and to primarying electeds if they're not going to be in our community's corner, because now is the time.
So tell us quickly what the Dallas Principles are, because it was a pretty defiant act. A lot of wealthy folks saying, and others, saying we're not going to give any more support to candidates who don't sign on to these principles.
Well, activists, donors, and thinkers got together in Dallas over the 16th and 17th of May. And they really hammered it out because all of them are frustrated. All of them don't understand why we're not demanding civil rights now and why our leadership isn't doing exactly what you said. So they actually hammered out these 8 simple principles. Simple things like separate is never equal. You know,
we're playing it now.
Oh, and the whole idea that this is really no delay, no excuses, and that those who seek our support are expected to commit to these principles, not just talk about them, not make them campaign promises, but commit to them and live them every day.
And one of those, of course, is separate but equal. Right. How does this jive with your strategy?
I mean, I hate to be the downer here, Laura, but there is some political reality that I want to mention. First, putting an initiative on the ballot in 2010, it takes a lot more to get people to vote for a new right than it is to preserve something that was granted by the courts.
Talking about California.
Prop 8 was the most expensive initiative election in this country outside the presidency in 2008, $40 million. I don't think even Al Franken and Norm Coleman spent that much money, and their race is still going on. So it's going to be enormously expensive, and they're long on. So there is a really tough question to ask, whether we should bring this forward in 2010, how much money we should throw into it. That's one question. Then you look at the larger marriage map across the country, and you have dozens of states where you have constitutional amendments banning all kinds of domestic partnerships, civil unions, any form of partnership recognition, right? So that map is quickly tightening up. You're going to have states like Maine, New England, those states recognizing same-sex marriage, and then there are very few states left that have no laws either way. Illinois is one of them, Indiana is another. But you're looking at a very complicated federal map here, and there's a question to ask whether we go state by state now, or whether we pursue a federal legal case to have federal legal marriage across.